Hey, it moves. Gross. Hey everybody, so I just picked up this homemade log splitter on the cheap. I've been cutting a lot of firewood for my mom, and we need some for the house, and I've got friends that also heat with wood, so it kind of fits in with the sawmill. It's a real thing of beauty, as you can tell. Definitely, well, it's definitely homemade, and it's definitely well used. So what I'm going to do now is try to put it back into service and make sure that everything's okay, and then move on. The splitter and the hydraulics work off of the tractor's remotes. It's got about 20 feet of really ugly hydraulic line here. Hopefully it's going to be good enough just to make sure it works before I go too far into this thing. The actual hydraulics themselves, the cylinder and the valve, are just coated in grease, so I'd imagine that there's going to be a bit of cleaning and a little bit of TLC required to get this thing working. You know, I don't split cords and cords and cords and cords of firewood, but I do split enough that it's probably worth getting this thing running. Definitely better than swinging an axe. I'm just getting to the kind of time in life where swinging an axe isn't nearly as much fun as it used to be. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's actually quite an interesting design. In its current configuration, it's sitting on, well, three different types of tires, to be honest with you, but you know, tires are tires and it just rolls. It can be pulled behind the tractor, or there are 3-point hitch points, which is probably the way I'm going to use it, because these tires are pretty much had it, and I don't want to just drag the thing in and out of the bush all the time. It'd be nice to just hook it up to the tractor and take it when I need it. So before I get into all of that though, I want to hook up these lines to the back of the tractor and just see how or if it actually works. Like I said, it's homemade, and believe me, I didn't pay very much for it. So let's get to it. Alright, these connectors are, well, they're the same as what my tractor has. That's a good start. They're a little rusty. Probably good enough for testing. I'll end up replacing them eventually, I'm sure, or cleaning them up a lot better than this. That one's okay. This one, yeah, that one looks pretty gross. So I'll just swap it out. Got a brand new one sitting right here. Might as well go to the trouble of putting it on. I don't want to stick that thing into my nice clean tractor remotes. Now, once I know this thing works, then I'd be a little more willing to put some money into it. But there's a few unknowns here, so let's test it first. Well, that's pretty easy. You know what? Only takes a minute. Let's just swap this one out too. I'm not going to put it under any load. Just want to see if it moves back and forth, you know. Let's hook her up to the tractor and see what's going on. Okay. Not sure which way it's supposed to go on, but, you know. There we go. Okay, I got her hooked up to the tractor. Got them into the remotes. I've got the remote lever pulled back with a bungee cord so that it's always on. Let's hope. Hey, it moves. It doesn't move very quickly, but it moves. I guess what's the hurry, right? Probably if I rev the tractor up a little bit more, she'd go too, right? Oh, it ends a little bit short. All right, oh, there it goes back. Yeah, we got a winner here, I'll tell you. Looks like it does leak a little bit out the cylinder. That's how you keep the oil in the tractor fresh. You just keep leaking it out, right? So you have to replace it. Well, I'll take a look at that and see if I can replace that seal or do something anyway. Doesn't seem to be leaking out of the valve anywhere. Not yet, anyway. No little rivulets firing out of the hoses. That's a good start. So, you know what's next, right? Yeah, that's right. Piece of wood. Alright, so there's something I'm worried about. And I'm going to find out if I need to be worried right now. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Although I guess we can make it work. I cut my firewood to 18 inches because I don't sell it. We just use it here. My mom's stove takes 18 quite comfortably. So I guess I'm going to have to shorten it back up to 16 or maybe move this one way or another. It's got to be done. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah! No problem. Okay, the other thing is, this is just a standard valve. Typically, a wood splitter would have one that automatically returns. So you advance it, then when you let go of it, it will go back on its own. I'll have to look into that. I don't think they're particularly expensive, but it would definitely be nice. So these 18s fit, but not perfectly. I'll just look at that. What I'll have to do is maybe shorten it up to 17 inches. I don't sell it, so I'm not really too worried about the lengths. I guess I could go back to 16, like it's sort of traditional. I will worry about that later. Yeah, baby, that splits it no problem. These are pretty simple pieces of wood. I do not want to tax these lines too much because they're rotten. They're looking pretty rough. Just for the sake of testing her out, I got a couple of pieces of small hardwood and not having any trouble at all with it. Awesome. All right. Test complete. I'm quite happy. Now I just got to make it a little bit prettier, clean it up, and I don't know, make it safe, I guess. I got to tell you, I can kind of see the advantage of having these long hoses. You know, you could definitely run this thing so that the splitter was up at the front of the tractor, then just split stuff and throw it into the bucket if you wanted. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's a lot of hose. That'd be a pretty good investment, and I'm just not sure I really need it. I think sitting on the back of the tractor on the 3-point is going to be good enough for now. I don't want to have to fix these crappy old tires, 3 different sizes. You know, let's just get her going on the back of the tractor, get her going good, safe, and we'll worry about that other stuff later. It's the next day now, and I did a little bit of research. The proper valve, you know, the one that's got the return on it for a wood splitter, is actually not all that expensive and readily available. So I think I'm going to replace the valve, obviously all the lines. I'll take my chances on the cylinder. There are a few options available to me. My uncle's told me that he's got a handful of cylinders. One of them might be appropriate, might be a close enough size to make this work. So I'm going to concentrate on the valve and just getting all this hydraulic stuff, old stuff taken off. So that's the plan for now. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, there's some water in there, right? Yeah, what a shock, huh? Okay, now for these pipes, not quite sure how that's going to go. That's an adapter. Yeah, this might not be easy. Tempted to just cut that, to be honest with you. Or you know what? Why don't I just take the valve off, take the hoses off all at one time? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's see what we got going underneath. Loose. There it is, off. Let's just get rid of that another day. Looks like he's got some spacers underneath here. Cool. Gloves back on. That's kind of gross. Oh my God, is there ever a lot of oil and grease and crap on this thing? All right. All I really need to know, I guess, is this end, because the other one is going to go into the new valve, so theoretically it should be the right, you know, just order whatever I need when I get the valve. So let's try to get those off. Oof. Well, they come off at least. That's pretty sure that's 1/2-inch pipe thread. I'll still, oh my God, look at this stuff. I'm gonna have to flush this thing too. Yeah, full of water. Hopefully I haven't contaminated my tractor. It took me long enough to get the stuff out of there. All right, let's see about this one. No, just before I take that out, I think I'm gonna just degrease this a bit so I don't fill up that hole with a bunch of crap. And maybe I'll put a little plug or bag or something on that, or even just the hose back on for now to keep it protected. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'll get some, I'll get something, come out here, clean that off, maybe bring a little steel brush and just get rid of all this garbage. And that way I won't get anything into that end, or not much anyway, I hope. All right, right back. Degreased a little bit. So this is Dawn dish soap, about 30 mils to a liter, so it's an ounce to a, I don't know, whatever a liter works out to. 34 ounces it says. Just enough to break up the grease. Honestly, I think the spray, pressure of the sprayer does as much as anything. But if you let this, well, I'll spray the whole thing down. If you let this stuff sit for a couple hours, even the toughest grease kind of peels away, like it loosens up. Sometimes you got to take a putty knife, you know, clean it a little bit, but it comes off eventually. 2 or 3 different hits and it's good to go. So yeah, I'll probably do the whole thing, and probably once I get it all sealed up again, I'll take it over to the pressure washer and give her a good clean. Okay, right on. Okay, look at that. Gross. All right, so I did a little bit of shopping. I picked up a new valve, kickoff valve, and I picked up an adapter so that I can use the hoses that are out there right now. I already had enough stuff to adapt this side. What I'm going to do is use a half of the hoses that came with it. If you look closely, the 20-foot length is actually two 10-foot lengths spliced together, and the 10-foot portion that's closest to the tractor mount, those pieces are reasonably okay. Like, they'll last me a little while. And eventually, once I figure out exactly how I want this thing set up and I get it mounted on the tractor or in some other kind of cradle so that I can just leave it laying around, then I'll know the exact lengths of what I need, and I will pick up some new hoses then. But for right now, I'm just going to adapt them in, and that'll be fine. The other thing I picked up is a couple of short hoses. So these will lead from the top of the valve to the cylinder. Okay, they're the right length. And all I should have to do is put this all together and then take it out and hook it all up. So that's what I'm gonna do. Might as well do it in here on the bench and take it out when I'm done. So I put Teflon tape, the yellow stuff, the gas stuff, on my threads. You can do that, it's perfectly fine. Just make sure you stay back from the edge so there's no chance that this stuff will get in there. That's all you gotta do. Just be a little bit careful, and if you take one out, make sure you get everything out with it, but it should be okay. Okay, so I've got to start this one first, right? I have a feeling these are too long, but there's a couple of pretty tight turns they have to make, so maybe the extra length will be handy, I hope. Okay. Perfect. Okay. That has to tighten in up here somewhere, so perfect. Okay, that comes up here somewhere. So this thing, I want it sitting so that those two go out, so that the connections either goes to the 3-point hitch or to remotes. Hoses are out of the way. So I have to find a location for this thing, and from there drill some holes and attach it to that 1/4-inch plate. Okay. So this is some kind of a Chinese thing. You always have to be a little bit careful about the threads in these castings. You really don't have to go as tight as you think you do, which is also why I like using that tape. If you go too much, those threads will just give way and it's ruined, really. According to the instructions, you push the handle in, and there's a picture that says in, and hydraulic oil flows through the valve's inlet and out of port B into the cylinder. When it's in that position, it comes out of there. So that is to push it out, so that needs to go to the back of the cylinder. Bang, bang. This is where these swivels are gonna be really handy, I'll tell you. Okay. Cool. And then obviously this one, which I guess is way too long, but we'll make it work, has to go, oh boy, that's gonna be tight. I might have to change this line. It'll be okay for now, but we'll see. Maybe I can make it work. Okay, just gonna turn this just a little bit to get it to line up. There we go. So this is gonna have to be like that. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. see how that doesn't line up? Like, that's what's going to cause all the problems here. So you've got to adjust this down at the bottom. See, we want it to go that way. So right about there. And it just threads right in nice as anything. A little bit of play, so okay. I'll tighten these up and get right back to you. Here's what I mean by these hoses. So this is, these things are 20 feet long, but they're connected in the middle. So they're actually like 10 feet and 10 feet. And this set is rough, very rough. So I'm gonna get rid of that, but this stuff is just rough, if you know what I mean. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's good enough for testing though. And then when I get it all figured out, I'll know the exact lengths that I need. But for right now, it'll be fine. I just want to clean up a few things. The first thing is this reverse system that I've got going here, where I push that way to make it go that way, it's just not working for me. So I'm going to have to take this valve, rotate it 180 degrees, and then these connectors have to stay into these ports, so they're going to have to cross. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and I'm sure it'll be okay. It only has to go once, right? So I'm going to start undoing some of this, and well, we'll see how it goes. Now that I know it works, I just want to clean up a few things. The first thing is this reverse system that I've got going here, where I push that way to make it go that way, it's just not working for me. So I'm going to have to take this valve, rotate it 180 degrees, and then these connectors have to stay into these ports, so they're going to have to cross. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and I'm sure it'll be okay. It only has to go once, right? So I'm going to start undoing some of this, and well, we'll see how it goes. was a nice successful test. I'm pretty happy with it. So the hydraulics are all sorted out. I've got everything working the way I want it. There's going to be some modifications that are going to make things a little bit more useful for me. I have to open up this throat here so I can fit my 18-inch logs in. I'd like to degrease it, obviously. The other thing I might end up doing is putting a set of legs on it. Not the wheels, just legs a little bit lower than what it was, and I'll keep it so that the 3-point hitch can be attached. That way I can drag it around, move it with the 3-point hitch, sit it down where I want, leave it if I have to, and then pick it up and move it again easily. I just don't see the need for the wheels. Like, it's either where it's going to be or it's not. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll probably post the modifications in a later video, maybe just a little add-on or just a short one just to show you what I've done. Okay, so that's another successful piece of antique machinery brought back to life and put into service. Thanks for watching.